me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Let's go! I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, gotta feel the tension. In my thoughts.
Welcome back, everybody. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video. So today we're going to be talking about, well, no, more so we're going to be giving some love to that offensive line, man. We've been so just disappointed with that thing. And I think with these first 3 games in the bag, we got to give a little love to that offensive line, baby. I'm going to put a hat on. We got to give a little love to that offensive line, baby. We got to make sure that they're getting some love from us. So we're going to go over a couple of things today. And who we got to give love to is Austin Jackson. Now, to start off with this introduction is that Austin Jackson, like I was saying in the offseason, very similar to Tua Tagovailoa. Very similar. Basically had a guy with a lot of potential that was drafted by a gentleman that doesn't really know how to develop potential. And the thing was, is he was thrown into the fire just like Tua was, when both of them needed to sit and learn for a little bit, because they are not players. Austin Jackson, a little more than Tua. They're not players with more athletic ability. They just are someone that needed to be molded. Now, Austin Jackson did have some athletic ability, but he was super young. I think he was like 20 years old when he was drafted. You can't expect a 20-year-old to come into a professional league and just become a superstar off the bat. It rarely happens. It's called player development. And even in that draft, they said, think of this. Go back to that draft. They said should be sitting for 2 to 3 years before starting. So like the 3rd year, he should be starting. Now consider this. Austin Jackson was drafted rookie year, other year, the next year. Well, this is the 4th season. So this is when, last year is when he should have been starting for the first time. And this year is when he should have been starting to take off. It's exactly the projection that they had, except, again, Brian Flores wanted to just throw him in there and almost completely screwed him up. Another person we have to show love to is Butch Berry. I did another video on him in the off season, showing that there were some people that were complaining about him, but if you looked at a lot of the stats, he really had a great offensive line. When he was with Denver, the offensive line got better and better. So having him here, I think, has been a huge help and has developed Austin Jackson, where now we see that he's starting to become a good, if not a pretty good player. And the thing is he's going to keep this up. I think we're going to pay him in this offseason. You're not going to have to pay him a super enormous amount because he isn't playing at an all-star Pro Bowl level, but he's playing good enough that we're fine with him. And then he can keep developing. So we're going to read an article real quick. Basically, this is Travis Wingfield, and he's talking about the 3 takeaways. And we're going to talk about the offensive line, so we got to show some love. When the offense is in first in just about every category, something must be going right in the trenches. Left tackle Teron Armstead returned to the lineup and gave the Dolphins another Pro Bowl resume on this explosive offense. It was clear as day. He looked incredible, and he really solidified that left side. No quarterback has been hit or sacked less than Tua Tagovailoa. Again, that's also with his pocket presence, and the Dolphins have the top rushing attack in the NFL. Guards Robert Hunt and Isaiah Wynn are playing as well as anyone at their position. Connor Williams continues to achieve blocks that most centers can only dream of, and Austin Jackson has found a home at his right tackle position. I think they've done a tremendous job. Mike McDaniel has helped with that, but you can't discredit the work that they put in this offseason, said Tua Tagovailoa. So the thing is I made a video way earlier, and it's because I believe that Austin Jackson, again, now he's like 23, and he's starting to get it. And he came into this offseason looking so much more muscular, so much more fit, so much more everything better. And I predicted that. I thought that this year, if you look at last year, he got injured most of the year. But the problem was that when he was in, our offensive line looked pretty good, and then he got injured. And then, of course, when you come back from a high ankle sprain, it's hard to get back into the mold, and then, he just never had it and got injured again, or injured it again. So he wasn't really in 100% shape. This year he's come in, he's been working in the offseason completely, just like Tua Tagovailoa, and he went to I think his name is actually I forgot the name of the coach, but he went to a training camp that Teron Armstead and all the top offensive linemen go to in the offseason and started learning how to be a better offensive lineman. And it's showing in the game. So now what he's doing is he seemed to have found the position at right tackle to be his home. He is a right tackle. That's what he was drafted for as well. Except you had to develop him. You couldn't just put him in the lineup and think that he's going to become a superstar. This is due to coaching. And I'm going to swerve off a little bit here, but I think the people that are saying that there is a 2-year window, 2-year window this, 2-year window that, they're not understanding coaching. They're not understanding how an actual team is built. And yes, we have a window right now, but the thing is, the way that our general manager works and the way that our coach is more than a 2-year window. You are good at developing players, it seems. You know, you have Connor Williams, which when we got Connor Williams in that offseason a year ago, he wasn't really the top offensive lineman. You know, he was an okay offensive lineman that was committing a lot of penalties. A lot of Dallas people were okay with letting him go. And he's come here. Now the snapping is an issue. I understand that. But the thing is he's become a top-tier offensive lineman. He's become a pretty good center blocking-wise. He needs to work on the snap, which that will be fixed over time. You know, I mean, that's just him not being in the offseason because he was trying to get a contract. But, yeah. So Austin Jackson being in this mold, having the Butch Berry as a coach and having Mike McDaniel as a coach, the player development is a lot better and it's showing. You know, this is only 1 year of Mike McDaniel and a lot of players are looking significantly better. You know, I mean, so when you look at the PFF grade, he actually has a decent grade right now. He's a 58, which is not bad. It's much better than the other seasons. And I don't think that's actually showing everything because the people that he's gone against are Nick Bosa, you know, Khalil Mack. He went against the defensive line. I'm forgetting who's on the defensive line for Denver, but I know there's somebody good there. He went against Matt Judon, you know. These are guys that are really good pass rushers, and he is holding his own against them. So it's not like he has even played good players. He's played a lot of good players, and he's holding his own. And that is just due to the coaching staff and what they have set around him. He has followed Teron Armstead, and he's understood more how to be a good offensive lineman and what he needs to do, where he needs to be. And this comes from good coaching. This comes especially from good coaching. It comes from understanding your assignments, what you need to be. A lot of what really has an offensive lineman has to do, it's not just necessarily blocking. Of course it is, obviously, that's what they do, but it's also understanding assignments where if you don't have a good coach, you don't have a good surrounding around you, you don't have good surrounding players and coaches, they're not going to know which assignment to take. And a lot of the time when you have a bad offensive lineman, it's because he doesn't know the assignments and he doesn't know who he needs to block. But on top of that, if you look at his fundamentals and you look at how he's blocking players, years past, you were seeing a lot of times where Austin Jackson would get beat a lot of the time. And now what you're seeing is he has understood his actual abilities and what he is good at, which what Austin Jackson is extremely good at, why he plays the right tackle position, why he's starting to become good, is he's very agile. He's a very agile offensive line. That's what you drafted him for. The reason he was coming out and the reason we wanted to get him in the first round was because he had a lot of the traits of being a very successful offensive lineman. He's very agile. He's pretty quick. You know, he's good with his hands. He just needed to learn the fundamentals on how to use all those things, because you can be quick, agile, and all that stuff, but if someone knows how to do that second move against you, they're going to throw you against the ground because you don't have your fundamentals down for how to block. Now what he has done is he has gotten the fundamentals down to being an offensive lineman. And now what he can do is use his natural traits. Everybody that makes it to the NFL, they have natural traits in them that make them go to the NFL. You don't go to the NFL just being not good at anything. Everybody has their own special traits. Tua Tagovailoa, accuracy and anticipation. Austin Jackson, agility and quick feet and movement. He just needed to learn the fundamentals just like Tua. And why these guys are going to be pitted together, I think we have to really pit them together as just brothers in this system is that they both went through the same sort of quote unquote, I guess, unpreparation that came from the first regime. And it almost screwed both of them. It almost really destroyed both of these players. And now what has happened is you have a good coach that understands how to teach players positioning, fundamentals, intelligence towards the NFL and football itself. And you've seen both of these guys. Now Tua, which last year Tua had it. Austin Jackson last year was going to be good. He just got injured. That was the problem. He just got injured. He played well when he played against the Patriots for a couple snaps, and in the preseason, he was looking like he was coming up, but he got injured. Now you see both of them have gotten to a good regime. Both of them have people that believe in them, and that's one of the biggest things that you need to have. You know, you need to have someone that believes in you, wants to work with you, doesn't just throw all this homework on you and say, figure it out. You want someone that shows you the ropes. And now you see the trajectory for both of these players, where Tua last year is a little bit more well off than Austin Jackson. But Austin Jackson, he's starting to get that uphill trajectory where now you have to understand that what they have done is they have figured out Austin Jackson. They figured out how to make him his top level. And now it's just about continually improving those things. And heck, who knows, man? God willing, I mean, he's only going to get better from here. So you give that guy a contract. Now you have Tua's blindside tackle for a really long time. And he is only going to get better. You have to understand that Austin Jackson has positional abilities that most players don't have. A lot of offensive linemen are not as quick and agile as Austin Jackson is. That's what we have to really focus on here, is that Austin Jackson has the agility of somebody not many people have as an offensive lineman. Most people are statues, and most people have this stuff, but they have to really work on it. He has natural God-given ability to be very agile, very quick moving, and that's why he's starting to succeed. He just needed to get the basic stuff down. That was the problem with him. He didn't understand how to be an offensive lineman. He was so used to using natural talent to block people in college, and he didn't understand that, which took, someone explaining it to him, that you need to have fundamentals, and you need to make sure your fundamentals are right, and then you can use your natural ability. And that's what's starting to happen now, is he got the fundamentals, and now he's starting to use his ability, where a lot of these quick, strong pass rushers, they can't get past him because he's so quick, and now he has his base that they can't get past him. They can't move past him. He either shoves them out all the way to the outside and Tua just steps up, or he's able to block them using his base, because, again, Austin Jackson's physical traits are bar none one of the best you can see in an offensive lineman. They are some of the best you will see. The agility, the strength, the quick hands, all of that stuff. But now that he's got the fundamentals, now all these things are coming into play, where he's playing people like Nick Bosa, Khalil Mack, Matt Judon. He's playing all these players, and he's able to block them with success. If you look at PFF, he's only had 1 sack allowed and 1 penalty. That's incredible. That's incredible. He's playing at an all-time high level. I don't care about the grade. It's not real. The grade that he has is, he's doing much better than what it says. If you didn't notice, I'm very excited for Austin Jackson. I will pit these two together. Tua and Austin Jackson, they came out in the same draft. They had the same problems. They had the same coaching crap. And now they have the same new coach that has brought the best out of them, and they are excelling. They will be pitted together forever. And I'm really hoping, that we sign him, which I think we will. I don't think you get to this point with him, a young player like this that's that agile, and you don't sign them back. He will be signed back, and he's going to continue his uphill trajectory, and him and Tua will grow together. And I think it's going to be an awesome marriage of the blindside tackle with the blinding offensive guru Tua, and, blinding playbook player coach. I don't know what I'm saying here, but comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if you liked it. I appreciate all you guys, and as always, hope you have a great rest of your day. Fins up, baby. Peace.